Okay, we are back with another Age of Mythology Retold casted game. And today, we've got something which I didn't think I would be choosing, but it is a Zeus mirror. And there's a good reason to be watching this one, which I'll explain in a second. So the top side, we have Toxotes Great Again ? I don't even know who this guy is, but a very strong account, like 1900 rated. So like, your top 50 kind of area. And Toxotes Great Again is because archers did get buffed, and Benny says it's Zoekt. Okay, cool. So this is a very strong player, and Toxotes are great again because they have been buffed in a considerable way. And on this bottom side is Tunison, one of the best aggressive players there is. He's a very, very, very strong. We've watched quite a few of his games. I think I've uploaded a few on YouTube of his set games where he plays extremely aggressive. So we'll be seeing what he does here. But the reason that I've picked this game, and it is a little bit of a spoiler, is that both players go completely different god paths. So you have an option in the classical age for Minotaurs with Athena or Centaurs with Hermes, and both of these guys go different ways. And I thought that would be really interesting to see what they do. I don't know anything more than that, apart from they pick the completely different god paths. So hopefully we've got a good one on our hands. And let's mention why a Toxotes Great Again. So the last patch gave us a Toxotes buff where they attack slightly faster, and then archers are just stronger now anyway, because all the normal infantry units, like your hoplites, like your Mamillos and your berserks, they have less pierce armor. So archers should be better at doing their jobs, and Toxotes are buffed. And actually, even the ranged heroes for Greek are buffed. So in this matchup, well, both players have it, but your Odysseus for Zeus is better against myth units. So that means that your flying units and just anything where Odysseus can snipe from the back line is going to be a bit better. So if it is some myth unit heavy focus, your Minotaurs, your Centaurs are going to be a little bit easier to snipe down in the heroic age. Anyway, so the map's Ghost Lake. It's the two gold mine spawns. You can sit in your base for a little while. Looks like just moving around. There's also 3 on each side, so it's kind of split around. There's the settlements do give some kind of defensive gold mine on this side. It looks like there's a similar situation on this side as well, but I believe the Zeus mirror is a pretty aggressive matchup. At least it used to be back in the day, let's say. I don't even think I've seen a Zeus mirror on Retold for quite a while. I think I watched one on quite a defensive map where both players went Athena, and you're kind of using that restoration on cooldown, trying to get value out of your Minotaurs, bolting the right units and that sort of thing. But this one, as we said, will be completely different. So Toxotes Great Again here, which is Zoekt, is going through Hermes. And on this bottom side, Tunison is choosing the tried and true Athena. Now, back in the old game, the Zeus mirror used to be all about Hermes, because Centaurs had a slightly different special. They had a kind of wind-up special that was like a snipe that always hit, and it did some really big damage. So what you could do is you couldn't dodge those shots. So if you got X amount of Centaur specials on another Centaur, I think it was 3 or 4, then you could snipe that one and he couldn't dodge it in any way, could your opponent. So that's why we saw so many Hermes matchups. But now that isn't the case. You can just juke the Hermes special pretty easily. It kind of rains down some arrows, so you can just dodge out the way of that one. So it's not as cut and dry as it was before. It looks like God Power's recharge cost is less, which is going to be nice for your player that went through Restoration. But it looks like this Jason's going to be grabbing it anyway. It's good to keep it away from your opponent. Not really going to be recasting Ceasefire, but not a bad idea. And I think I heard someone despawn, so it looks like there is a Centaur. Is that a second Centaur that's actually come out? There is a Centaur going down this side. Yeah, so Toxotes Great Again. Zoekt is going for some Centaurs. I guess if a hero comes onto him, he can run away, and then if he does actually get almost hit by it, he can bolt it away. So that might be an option for him. He's also getting the Olympian parentage, which means his heroes will be stronger and actually train quicker too. So there is a bolt on the Heracles, and we see, I assume, bolt on Heracles. The other side, it's normally the main one to go after, because why would you not bolt the Heracles? He's so expensive, and just a really, really strong unit. And it looks like the Heracles is down for both sides. So exactly the same time, bolts come off, and the Centaur's actually getting quite a decent amount of damage here from Zoekt. The Heracles does come out, though. There's no Olympian parentage for Tunison, though, I believe. So, decided not to get that one. It doesn't cost that much, and we see the difference, actually. So, 358 over here, and this Heracles is 439. So, it's quite a big difference. Like, Jason is going to get a couple of whacks there. Jason does have a 12 times multiplier, which is the most in the entire game. I'm pretty sure, unless it's Titan versus Titan. I think 12 times multiplier on your Jason, Ajax, and whatever. Maybe Ajax is 13. I feel like I've seen a 13 somewhere. But anyway, a massive amount is Jason. It just means he's not very good against other units, though. You don't have to worry about that. And then just like the Centaurs, the Minotaurs are also pretty good raiders. Normally when you get their upgrade, because they go up to 5 something speed, whereas they're only 4.5 without it, 3.8 when they're snared up. So Heracles will be able to chase this Minotaur down. And I believe the Centaurs should be better at raiding it. 5.5 with 5. I mean, if you want to actually put in the time and the cost to get both of these, the 2 gold mines also does kind of help this strat if you are going for the Minotaurs, because they do cost gold. So it's something that Tunison has plenty of access to in his main base. Also getting Sylvan Law in, which does give the Centaurs extra range, makes them a bit tankier, so they could probably survive an extra Jason shot there. And Tunison's actually going. No, I'm just gonna get a town center. We'll see if Zoekt can spot it here. He's getting a decent amount of Centaurs. I don't think he's got any other buildings. He does have a hoplite producing building at some point, getting out his winged messenger, which is one of the best Hermes things in my opinion. And we do have some hoplites coming through for Tunison, but the Centaurs should be able to kill those hoplites off without even getting hit. He can just turn around, shoot, splitting his Centaurs up so nicely. Tunison responding, splitting his heroes up also. Centaurs are so hard to use. You've got to be really on it. If you just forget about where your Centaurs are for half a second, or let's say 2 seconds, then a Heracles could just take him out so quickly. And the Pegasus will be out. Did he spot that? Spot that town center? He did. I mean, even if he didn't, I think you would have just assumed that kind of thing was going up there, with just how the units were put up. So this does mean that the blue Zeus here needs to get something going at some point. He's got plenty of time, because I mean, it was quite a late town center grab. It just means that Tunison will slowly be pulling ahead in the eco numbers, but nothing to worry about for the time being. And actually, is that Tunison's side? He's pre-queuing Dionysus, so he wants to build no units, and he wants to get up to the next stage. I assume that's to get out his Odysseus. We said Odysseus had a pretty decent buff against myth units, so I assume that's what Tunison's looking for. So Zoekt wants to get some damage done before then. I think that was a manual task of the town center to take out the low HP Centaur, because that wasn't the closest one. So nice play from Tunison. Bit of micro from the TC. Don't see that very often, or at least not that quick anyway. And Tunison microing his villagers pretty nicely. I think when you see one villager like that and you've got these Centaurs, just hit Alt Q, then it takes this off. And then you can just use your normal ability rather than using the special kind of rain down of arrows. But Tunison's defending this one pretty nicely. He is out on this open hunt spot with these 4 hoplites, which if the Centaurs come to find those with the Jason-Odysseus combo not close, then he could get some serious damage going on. But it looks like Zoekt here is going for a response TC a couple of minutes later, but I think he's going to get some damage done here, so it won't be a problem at all. One villager does go down, and the hoplites running through the rain of arrows. They take so much damage. Gotta watch out for that Jason, though. And is absolutely on it. And then, how much range does this give? 3 range? Puts them up to 338 HP. Gives them a nice hat. And then away we go. So it looks like Tunison is really trying to get to that next stage, but the kind of issue is you need so much food to do that. He's producing hoplites. He's got 2 TCs. It just takes quite a while to get there. He does have 21 on the food. Probably saving these goats to just fatten them up. So it's going to take a while to get there, whereas I think Zoekt is just going full unit spam here. Just getting some Toxotes out. Hence the name. And he's getting some hoplites in. I think he got that building relic. Are they just 1.6 now? Oh, I guess that was one of the changes. They used to be 1.5x versus buildings, but that was one of the changes after the building buff to make Zeus a little bit better. It's like sniping down another villager. You need to kind of stand behind the villagers, otherwise your non-ballistics arrows do miss. Jason is picking up a relic here. He's picking up infantry move faster. That's an insane relic for the Zeus mirror. And again, the Toxotes just going to start missing. But has forced Tunison off that hunt, and it is a big deal. If he was there, he would be able to be clicking up through Dionysus right now, which is exactly what he wants. So pushing that back considerably, and also forcing the goats to be gathered early, which is less food, and it's actually forcing Tunison onto farms. So just these Centaur polemark here, just pressuring Tunison so much. I mean, he could have bought some food if he really wanted to. It's not something you really want to do, considering you're kind of pushed off those gold mines, or pushed off from going out for a third gold mine, I guess. Not second gold mine. And an armory is up for the blue player now. But I think it's just pressuring units. I mean, it's the thing about hoplites. They will eventually take down the buildings. And what's Dionysus going to do here? I mean, you get a nice Hydra. You obviously get the extra hero, which is what he wants. But it's quite an investment to actually get that one. Then you have to buy the hero. It takes time to train him. I don't think Tunison grabbed. He did grab that upgrade for the train time. So the Odysseus will come in at some point. But he's quite expensive. And Zoekt putting so much damage in. Temple's going to go down. It's going to lose this movement speed relic. So these are at 5.2 speed. That's absolutely massive. But not anymore. That one's going to go down, go back down to 4.9. And Zoekt can steal that one. And he had his heart set on that one. He knew that was in there. The Hydra didn't come out, obviously, because there was no temple. So Tunison's going to have to be grabbing that one. So it doesn't really get much with his boost up to the next stage. It doesn't have many units. You really need that out to get that bronze. The one thing Tunison does have is an ability to push out at some point. He's obviously contained inside his base. So once he's finished his gold mines, he does have the bronze restoration combo, which Zoekt doesn't have either of. He's going through Apollo. So there's going to be no bronze or restoration for him. So it's going to be pretty tough. I mean, Ceasefire obviously does counter the bronze pretty hard. But it still does give Tunison the ability to push out at some point. So there's going to be a wall up on this side, and Zoekt grabbing his next gold mine. It's got his nice upgrades in. I think there was also some upgrades in for Tunison, had pretty similar. He does, also obviously has his plow in as well. Einhajib, Moose Day is a good day. I appreciate that one. And there is Odysseus. No ballistics in yet, but sure that one will be coming through soon. He will be able to snipe those if they run in a straight line from him. Unlikely to be happening. Or if they're actually just shooting him, just standing still, then that's when Odysseus shines. And the Centaurs getting some good damage on that villager there. It looks like it should go down. One Centaur does go down, though, so there is a bit of a sniper back here. And I think Zoekt's going to be waiting for his heroic age, and I assume ballistics is going to be straight off. That's the one upgrade that you need as this Centaur player for sure. Needs to get that one in ASAP. And actually he's going for some Hypaspis, seeing that there's so many hoplites on the side of Tunison. So he's going for the pure anti-infantry comp of the Toxotes and the hoplites. Actually not even going for the Peltasts, where there are Peltasts for Tunison. Peltasts so strong. Probably one of the strongest units that Greeks have, but you need to micro these bad boys. And I guess the Centaurs are going to be a good counter to them. Another little cheeky raid. Oh, looks like they're getting confused with the Snowy Pine. And Zoekt got hit with a bit of pathing cheese there. I think he definitely clicked around that, but oh well. Looks like they're actually going to get caught out here. Look how much damage Odysseus does. A 55 favor bolt to keep probably a couple of centaur alive there. I think it's probably worth it. I think it's going to get caught out again. Might just be worth doing the ceasefire before. Is he going to ceasefire this? I think he wants to save it for bronze, but he's going to lose so many of these. Looks like there is a big raid coming up on this side, though. Tunison did try to move out, so maybe losing a couple of centaurs for the big raid isn't so bad. The gold has finished up in the main base for Tunison, so Zoekt hitting a pretty big timing here. Only lost, what was that, 2-3 centaurs? I say only. So pretty big loss, but transitioning into manticores anyway. So manticores also against the peltas. These are the answers. It's like Zoekt's just going to walk straight past. Needs to do a bit of a 180 maneuver to get the front line in. And those guys are trying to do some damage. Or maybe trying to force out the bronze. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Let's get the restoration. And he says, restoration for ceasefire. I'll take that all day long. And one big god power from Tunison is down. And actually, it was less than 55 because he did have that relic there, making it a bit cheaper. I didn't see how much it was. I guess it was 50 or 49. And actually, a quick Hera coming through here. So there's no heavy. There's no heavy in, whereas Tunison has heavy units. Normally in this Greek matchup, if you don't see the player teching into their units, then they're probably going fast mythic, or a faster mythic than you anyway. And it looks like the bronze has been dropped down. The wooden wall's in, and a gate, and an underworld passage over to the other side to disrupt the other gold mine. It's something that makes Zeus so good on this map, is the underworld. But the heroes are already here, so the centaurs do have to worry. But they're both the melee ones, so not getting too much damage. Where is Odysseus? He needs to be in here. Looks like Odysseus over the other side. And again, the villagers going down. Such a nice move. It's not just the runaway, it's also the attack on the other side. There are some hot plates from Tunison. They're getting some good value on this side. We'll be trying to go through this wooden gate, but the centaurs can run back through this underworld passage. Just these three here. I guess he doesn't want to run close to the fortress being such low HP. So I think but does have the manticore there. Only 28 HP and a dream. The hot plate should be able to take this down. They're getting a little bit confused. Maybe they've not been tasked yet. Maybe they're not on aggressive stance. They are. They just couldn't see. Maybe their helmet's on too tight or something, but they will eventually go through to those villagers. And there's a full HP manticore, which will be able to take them out at some point. They are Athena hot plates, though, which obviously Zoekt doesn't have. And this side, Zoekt forced out, and it has got his heavy upgrades now. So after he's clicked up, he has decided he needs those ones in. Will probably be getting champion at some point. He's also going for the Peltas instead. Now, going through Hera, do you start to drop fortresses down and get that tech to get the Myrmidon out? Myrmidon have had a pretty decent buff, but how do they rate against Hippaspis for Greek on Greek action? I'm not really that sure. We're yet to see it. There isn't a fortress up, which means this Lightning Storm should get massive value. It kind of works up pretty slowly, and then towards the end just does stupid damage. We'll see how much damage it does. Fortress is up, so 4 villagers did garrison in, but everything else is going to lose its life. And the game is going to freeze, but I did check it before. This is just when it ends. So this was when Tunison did decide that he had had enough. He did pre-queue Hephaestus, but the replays are being funky today. But that was Toxotes great again, or Zoekt coming in. So it was just nice to see just completely different ideas. We saw Zoekt with his centaurs and his Apollo, and then this side Athena and the bronze there.